A man in Queens is caught on camera stealing from a frozen yogurt shop with kids in tow. And wait until you hear what they're accused of taking.
We're running below average for rainfall this month, but not for much longer, tracking the arrival of the heavy rain.
And remembering a legend, the hometown vigil for rapper DMX and the new mural honoring his legacy. This is News 4 Now for April 14th. I'm Adam Kuperstein. 4 men were spotted by officers putting a large object in a trunk. Well, it turns out it was a body. Investigators say those men were first seen carrying that large, suspicious object from a building, and then they put it in the trunk of a car in Far Rockaway, Queens. Police say they followed that car to Inwood and did a traffic stop around 2 a.m. And when they opened the trunk, police say they found a woman's body wrapped in a blanket. 4 men are now in custody as police try to determine who that victim was. Bernie Madoff, the mastermind behind the biggest investment fraud in history, has died in prison. The native New Yorker was serving a 150-year prison sentence for his $65 billion scheme, which investigators say defrauded as many as 37,000 people in 136 countries. Victims include director Steven Spielberg, actor Kevin Bacon, even former Mets owner Fred Wilpon. Prison officials in North Carolina say Madoff died of natural causes. He was 82. A federal advisory panel is meeting to talk about how to move forward on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Distribution got paused after the discovery of rare but severe blood clots in 6 women that may be connected to the vaccine. The panel is going to offer its recommendations, and then the FDA will make the final call. That's expected to come in just a few days. In total, 7 million doses of the J&J vaccine have been given out. So right now, if you have a vaccine appointment in the tri-state, you'll get either the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines. Hundreds of thousands of people in our area have already received that single-dose vaccine, and so far, no one here has reported a blood clot.
Listen, you gotta understand, bro. It ain't easy. I know it ain't easy.
3 Newark police officers are being praised for saving a man. You see it on this video. He was trying to take his own life. The officers responded to the Route 78 overpass yesterday after someone reported that a man was about to jump. After about 10 minutes, they were able to talk the man down and then take him to the hospital to get evaluated. The Newark Public Safety Director said he is grateful for how they handled that situation with understanding and with compassion. Well, happening today, a new tribute for rapper DMX, born and bred in Westchester. His hometown of Mount Vernon is set to remember him tonight. A candlelight vigil will take place at 4th Street Park. Masks are mandatory and social distancing is required. The rapper and actor, whose given name was Earl Simmons, grew up in Yonkers. He was born in Mount Vernon. DMX certainly left his mark with fans all around the world.
I really wanted to inspire people. You know, this mural here, I wanted to heal people and get them through the time right now, because I know a lot of people are missing DMX as I am. He was the voice of my youth, hence why I painted him.
In the Bronx, artist Efren Andaluz decided to paint a mural to remember DMX. His work covers a wall outside a restaurant on Holland and Burke Avenues. DMX died at age 50 last week after suffering what his family called a catastrophic cardiac arrest. The artist says his mural is now a place where people can remember and pay tribute to X. Police got a call about a suspicious device at Wharton State Forest in New Jersey inside the Tabernacle Township Park. After a quick examination, they carefully disarmed it by unplugging the headphone wire from a block of wood and a soup can. Apparently, it was somebody's rigged up UFO detector. New Jersey State Park Police say while they appreciate the early warning device, it does not have a place in state parks. Taco Bell is making it even easier to get your hands on a cheesy gordita crunch. The first digital-only restaurant in Times Square has opened, and customers can place a digital order ahead of their visit. You can also use a self-order kiosk inside the T-Bell, and once it's ready, customers will use their code to dispense their tacos, burritos, or chips from their very own heated cubby, almost like one of those old automats. Well, it felt like spring yesterday, and we get one more day of it before we have to worry about the rain, right, Maria?
It really was a nice start, really mild, despite the fact that we had the clouds. Next up will be the rain, but for the evening, I think it'll still be pretty quiet weather-wise. With mostly cloudy skies, temperatures staying in the low to mid-60s through the dinner time, overnight, even dry through midnight. It's after midnight and maybe a few sprinkles that will see that steadier, heavier rain begin to move in. But even by the morning hours, we're looking at that steadier rain, patchy here and there, maybe amounting to 1/10 of an inch. Where we get to the point of maybe 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall, that comes with the next push throughout the day on Thursday. But in the meantime, temperatures starting off in the 40s and 50s, which may very well be the warmest part of the day tomorrow. So some raw, windy and chilly, rainy weather ahead.
Now to a bizarre burglary in Queens. 2 children are spotted on video helping a grown man break into a frozen yogurt shop. And what's more surprising here is the items the officers say they stole. News 4's John Chandler has the story from Glendale.
Frozen yogurt is what Menchie serves. But frozen yogurt is nowhere near the window that this man breaks open. It's 11 p.m. on Easter Sunday. And yes, those are 2 kids by his side.
I go figure, it was a grown man with little kids. Surprising.
Samantha and Ralph have operated this shop at Atlas Park since 2016. They're also parents of 2 young kids.
So sad, like, what are you trying to teach your kids today?
They watch the surveillance video, stunned to see one of the kids appearing to shine a light while the man grabs something from inside their store. Moments later, the 3 run off.
What's the point of doing something like that?
It's really just disturbing.
Ralph didn't notice anything wrong when he opened the store the next morning until he walked into the back room and saw a mess.
I just saw like the window broke in and I saw stuff all over the floor and I was wondering like my team members wouldn't have left the place like this. So then when I checked our footage, I noticed like someone pushing in on the window.
His camera captured the window busting open. The man's arm is the only thing that makes it inside. Mall surveillance also shows the man and the 2 kids before the break-in on an escalator. One kid even sliding down it. This man didn't take any cash from the register. He didn't even help himself to frozen yogurt. All he grabbed through this window that he pried open was maybe some M&Ms or some cake toppings, which leaves the managers and police wondering, why bother?
You expect it not from an adult like that with little kids, you know. That looks like you were taking them out for a good time. And is that how you're going to end your night? This doesn't make sense.
He says teens have occasionally taken candy, even the tip jar once, but never anything like this.
You're trying to break in to steal what? You know, from a frozen yogurt store, some candy, some yogurt, you know, bring the kids back. We'll gladly give them some for free.
In Glendale, Queens, John Chandler, News 4 New York.
And let's check in on New York Live to see what they have going on for us today.
Nikki Taylor has been a leading authority on beauty and style for women of color for over 30 years. And today, she's taking us on a tour of her hometown to show us the places that have inspired her journey. Nikki, you grew up here in Newark, New Jersey, and your new memoir chronicles that. Tell us more.
So there's an old saying that home is where your story begins, and Newark is the city of my birth. And Force of Beauty, a Newark family memoir, my Audible original, gosh, I'm so proud to be able to say that, is my story. And it really tells the narrative of the generations of strong Black matriarchs in my family and how it shaped who I am today. So we are here at St. Columbus School. And this is where I went to grammar school, 1st through 8th grade. And I bawled because I had everything I needed in beauty school, in entertainment school that was right in my home. My mother would come back home from these tours on the road, and she would bring the most fabulous makeup back from Paris and London and magazines from everywhere. That was an education of another kind because for me, I saw how beauty was transformational and what it did for the soul of a woman, not just her outward expression, but how it made her feel inside.
Where are we now?
So we are standing right across from Newark's legendary Symphony Hall. Here we would go to see Aretha Franklin and James Brown and the Ebony Fashion Fair. Black women, all shades, if you could imagine.
Now we've come to the last stop on our Newark tour, which is Marco Hall Designs, and I understand that you have a new clothing collection.
It's the Mickey collection by Marco Hall. And we have fun designing these collections. We just sit here in this studio where me and my mother shopped with me as a youngster, and here in a world that she couldn't dream of, with a black designer doing what we love.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.